going on, guys? Good morning. Time is 6:10 a.m. We've just come outside, we've just woken up, and I'm going to be running you through my morning routine to begin with. Now, within this routine, the first thing that I always do is some sort of movement, some form of movement. Okay, so what I mean by that is I do two things. I do my push-ups, and then I go for the walk to get the blood oxidated around the body, to get the blood circulating around the body. So it's fucking cold. It's 6:15 in the morning. I've got no top on. It's nearly October. By the way, boys, I record this on my Instagram story every single morning. So if you're looking for some extra motivation, my link is in the description to my Instagram. Drop me a follow if you want some motivation. These push-ups aren't for any strength gains or anything like that. It is all mental. It's all for the mind. I wake up in the morning, get the blood circulating around the body, and I tell you for a fact, it is impossible to stay in a negative state when you've done some form of exercise, when you've done something that gets the blood circulating around the body. Anything that's going on in your life, any shit situation, can be solved with exercise. Anything. So we do this. We're now going to go for our morning walk and get going. Alright, so we got the creatine, the electrolytes. I tend to get these together just because it makes it easier. Yeah, 2 in 1. It saves the job of having to do both separately. It is impossible to be in a negative state when you are at your peak performance output. Any issue that you have, any problem that you're facing, whatever puts you in a shit mood, any issue like that can be solved with physical exercise. Anything. So if you're not a morning person, I highly recommend you do something like I'm doing now, which I'm running you through. I wake up in the morning, I do my push-ups, I go for my morning walk, as I'm doing right now, 20 to 30 minutes in the morning to get the blood circulating around the body even more, even though my hands they don't feel like they've been circulated. But any form of physical exercise, running, training, lifting weights, push-ups, anything. But when you're doing this day in, day out, and it is part and integrated, just cemented into your routine, I can guarantee you will not be in a bad mood come 1 hour later if you wake up and you do exactly what I do. Anyway, whilst I'm on this morning walk, I may well talk about this routine, my journey, and how this has completely changed my life. So this time last year I booked a flight to go to Bali. I packed in my job. I quit as a full-time PT. I was a PT for a few years, and I moved to Bali to move all online, to go all in on the business. Anyway, so living out in Bali, things were great, and that has helped me develop a lot as a person. You know, that has changed me in a lot of ways. But since being back over summer here, this routine has completely changed my life. You know, waking up at between the hours of 5:30 and 6 a.m. every single day. Now it's 5:55 because I really want to make sure that I'm not neglecting any form or quality of sleep. Like, I want to be getting as much sleep as possible, because I would find sometimes if I was waking up at 4 or 5 a.m, it was great, but I'd really feel it in the afternoon and I wasn't as productive. So what I'm doing now is I'm just getting up at 5:55 every single morning before 6 a.m. I get out of bed and I go down and do my push-ups and I get on with my day. After I've completed my morning routine, which takes about an hour and a half. But this routine has solidified my mornings, and I'm really now going into my days with a lot more clarity, a lot more purpose. My head is a lot clearer on everything that I want to achieve and what I've got to do to get there. Because doing these hard tasks, doing what I do in the morning, doing what I do in the morning is rewiring my brain in a way where I don't want the cravings, I don't want the carbs first thing in the morning. I want to be in a faster state, excuse me, until later on in the morning when I've done everything that I needed to and I've done the task that I needed to actually help me move the needle. Within this morning, I'll always be in a faster state until at least 9 a.m, depending on 10 a.m, depending on how hungry I am. Sometimes I go to 10, 11, but I found that I'm just far more productive when I'm in a fasted state. You know, when I used to eat breakfast at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, it's because well, my dopamine was just a bit all over the place and I just wanted some food first thing in the morning. It was just an emotional trigger. So keeping myself in a fasted state every single morning and having this routine has changed my physique. Because yes, I'm still pushing in the gym, and yes, I'm going hard, which I will move on to my training later on. We're going to train some back later. Now, going back to this routine and getting up at this time every single day. Do I want to get up every single day? No, of course not. You know, there are days where there's a part of me that wants to sleep in till 8, 9 o'clock some days, you know, because who doesn't love a comfy bed? That's even just a more reason to jump out of bed. I don't want to be average, okay? But, you know, now the mornings are getting colder, yeah, it does test me. It really does. And there are definitely mornings where I could lay in bed until 9, 10 o'clock. But I get up and I always know that after feeling of getting up at 6 a.m. every single day, 5:55, doing my tasks that I'm about to do, make me feel 10x afterwards. So anyway, we're just about to pull up back home. Next up, we've got to journal, make sure that our day is planned, make sure we have our clarity, we have our game plan heading into the day. And then I'm going to take a cold shower, and then we're ready to go. Then it's coffee time, and then we're going to crack on our day, and then in a couple of hours time we're going to hit the gym. Right, so we've just got back from the walk. We're upstairs, ready to journal. This thing takes 5 minutes. Okay, so the reason I journal every single morning is because it's giving me clarity, giving me a clear game plan for the day ahead. But not only that, also to be grateful for everything else that I have in my life. You know, before I started doing any of this, I had no vision, no direction. And it was very hard to attack the day and make the most of the day. Within this journal here, I just write 3 things that I'm grateful for, five things that I need to get done today, 5 non-negotiables that are not only going to help me move closer, but just get ahead of the rest of the competition. You know, tasks that I need to get done that are going to make me feel good and move my own self-progression forwards, but also my business forward. Things that I need to get done within my business. That could be training, it can be anything. So we're going to go ahead and get this done anyway. And then after that, we're just going to write a little positive affirmation, something that is going to tune our brain, our brainwaves into an even more positive frequency, so we can go ahead and really attack the day. So we're going to go ahead and get this done now. Alright, so we've just finished journaling, written down everything that we're grateful for, 3 things that we're grateful for this morning, 5 non-negotiables that I need to get done today, 5 tasks which are going to help me move closer towards my goals and keep me going. Time is currently 7 o'clock, it's just gone past 7, but we're about to go take a cold shower anyway. Now, I get a lot of questions about this and cold showers and, you know, hot cold or fully cold, how long. Now, I do exactly 90 seconds, fully cold. Now, the reason that I jump straight into cold and the reason that I do take cold showers is because it increases something called your anterior mid-cingulate cortex, your AMC. And for those of you wondering what that is, that's a muscle that grows and improves every single time you do something that you don't want to do. When you jump in the cold shower, for example, the hardest part is getting your breath under control. That is the one thing that you need to do in order to actually withstand being in the shower. A lot of people just panic when it turns cold and they jump out straight away. So the first thing you have to work on is controlling your breath and getting your breath under control. Now, when you improve your AMC and when you work on your AMC, you can just resist so much more stuff. You know, the more times you do it, like with anything, practice makes perfect, right? So I still have days where it fucking sucks and it feels really cold and I'm like, oh, you know, I don't want to do it, I want to jump out. But it's that feeling afterwards. Yeah, it just reminds me that I can do the hard things, and that the hard things is where the growth comes from. Comfort is a complete silent killer of success, and I've done enough comfort in my life to know that comfort just turns to absolute laziness, no productivity, and it's just not the best. You know, I've always found over these past couple of years that every single hard task you do will suck in the moment, and it might not feel the most enjoyable, but it is always going to lead to a better outcome than choosing the easier task, than choosing the comfort. Always choose discomfort, because discomfort will lead to growth. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to jump in the shower. We're going to stimulate the AMC, and we're going to jump out feeling $1 billion, because I always come out the shower feeling amazing. And then once we've done that, we're going to have some coffee, and then we're going to get to work. Looking sharp, ready to go. Breaking the fast, we've got 4 eggs in here. I'm just going to show you what I've been working on. So this is my guy David. We've literally just finished his cut. So he's done a 16-week cut, 4 months. He went from 184, and we have got him down, you see, with the love handles loose, and we got him down to 168. Came in the best condition of his life. So we have just finished this cut now, looking insane. Abs are showing, side delts, chest, arms, everything. Confidence through the roof. And we've now just started his gaining phase. So what I'm going over at the minute is we're just looking at bringing down his calorie expenditure slightly and looking at increasing his calories and really focusing on pushing in the gym. So that was August the 9th that we finished his cut. Now coming through September the 2nd, we are now in the gaining phase, and he's already gained 3 pounds of lean muscle. You can already see the size starting to pack on again. So the idea here is we've stripped him down. We've got him down to a body fat percentage that he was happy at, and now we're going through a lean bulk. You can still see the abs are still intact, looking incredible. And now we're going to get him up to about 180 lean. So the goal is here, we got him lean, and now he just wants to pack on as much muscle and become absolute god tier physique, gain a god tier physique. But yeah, he's looking incredible. Crazy how in just over 4 months, if you can follow a system, if you have the accountability there, if you have the correct structure, something that fits into your life, you can go from looking like this with the love handles, very soft, to them being in the top 1%. David here, August the 9th, he looks absolutely incredible. And now the goal is here, we're going to keep him as lean as possible. We're going to gain an extra 10 pounds. And we're going to be having visible abs, but with far much more muscle mass. Looking incredible. Also, we're doing an onboarding for my guy Harry at the moment. New client has come on board. Just setting up his Notion dashboard at the moment. It's what all new clients get at the moment. So when you come on board, you'll have your own Notion dashboard, as well as training plans, meal plans, you know, weekly calls with myself. Everything that you get within my elite coaching. But yeah, with David there, you saw looking incredible. Looking incredible. So we're going to get him up to 180 lean. It's going to be looking fucking insane. Alright, so meal 2 before the gym. We've got 100 grams of oats, and we're just chopping up a banana now. This is going to be our pre-workout. We're going to head to the gym in about an hour, half an hour. Carb loading before we go. But I want to tell you what I do basically before. So we've got about 30 to 40 grams of honey on there. We've got the carbs and sugars. But I want to talk about why I don't include a large source of protein before I hit the gym. And the reason for that is when you eat protein, your body uses so much energy to digest the proteins. And I've made the mistake many times before where I go to the gym and I've had something that is high in protein before the gym, and it just ruins my lift. When you have a big dinner with your family, right, or a big Christmas dinner, and you eat loads of turkey or Thanksgiving or whatever you do, you know, you're so stuffed and so low on energy afterwards because your body is using all that heat and all that energy to break down the protein, to break down the food. So what you want to be doing is fueling your body and filling your body with carbohydrates and getting that energy and the glycogen to your muscles ready for the workout. And this is, I've always found this the best pre-workout to have before the gym. Oats, a chopped banana, and honey. Super natural. Tastes amazing. I never get bored of it. And I can always tell when I'm on the way to the gym how the lift is going to go. But 100 grams of oats, one banana, and a bit of honey, and you will always have a killer session. Always. But just make sure you let it digest enough, because everybody's digestion is different. You know, some people can eat 10-20 minutes before a workout. I'm normally between the half an hour to an hour range, and then I know other people who take like 2-3 hours and they can't eat anything before that. Prioritize carbs, and then you can go proteins and carbs after as well. Just remember, carbs are not your enemy. Don't eliminate carbs from your diet. It's your most common source of energy. So do not neglect it. Do not eat them. I'd be fucking miserable if I didn't eat carbs. Alright boys, so we're on the way to the gym. Quick outfit change. We've just done a couple of hours deep work, checking in with my team, making sure everybody's good. We've actually had a really solid week this week, like we do every week, but not a single member, a single client within my space has had a bad week. We've all made amazing progress. It's Friday, the sun is shining, feeling good. But whilst we're in the car, let me just run you through obviously why I do this and why I have this routine. Why I lead by my example for my clients, and why I do this myself. Because for years, I got caught up in a lot of distractions, and I was insecure when I was in my teens and growing up as a kid. You know, I had a few things that I really hated about myself. You know, I was missing a tooth in school. Confidence just wasn't all there. I used to always get into trouble at school as a kid. School was never for me. I only just about passed my GCSEs. I applied myself for like the last few months of of school, and I managed to pass them. But school was a struggle for me. I didn't like it. I really didn't like it. I just wasn't really ready for it. So anyway, we left school, went to college. Knew that university and college wouldn't be for me. But anyway, growing up with these struggles as a kid, you know, insecurities, felt like I'm not really fitting in. I had a few friends outside of my school, my close friends, a couple of friends I'm still really close with these days. But yeah, it was just never for me. And then yeah, when it came towards my late teens, I got distracted and turned to all sorts of stuff. You know, I came out of a long-term relationship, nearly a 4-year relationship, from the age of like 14 to 18. And I know that you'd say, yeah, that's not a real relationship, but to me it was. And then when I came out of this, my first relationship, I turned to weed, drinking, 19, drugs, just going out way too often, vices, chasing women, doing all sorts of stuff that really set me off path. And then my early 20s was me then paying the price for it, and I was stuck. I was so stuck, and I didn't know what was going on. So then going traveling around Southeast Asia in 2023 and really finding out that I didn't want to live an average life. Like I didn't fit in when I was young, and I just knew that a normal life wasn't for me. It just wasn't for me. So the past couple of years I've become so obsessed with my self-development. I became a personal trainer, and then I went all in on my online coaching business, and I moved to Bali. But these last few months have been the biggest few months to me, and I can see this routine that I have taking me to the top, right? I don't ever see myself dropping this routine, and it works for me. And this is why I implement it within my coaching, within my coaching space, for me, myself as a leader, but for my clients as well. So me getting up in the morning, you know, now in the UK, it's getting colder. It's nearly October already. It's waking up at 5:55 every morning. I step outside, it's freezing cold. Do I want to get up at 5:55 every morning and do my morning push-ups? No, absolutely not. I enjoy it majority of the time. But I'm just like you. Like, I wake up in the morning a lot of the time, I don't want to fucking get out of bed. I really don't. You know, I'm really tempted to snooze my alarm. I have this little voice inside of my head that just goes, go on, mate, just snooze your alarm for an hour or two. You'll be all right to stay in bed for a bit. No one will notice. And believe me, that voice is there a lot of the time. But I get out of bed every single day and do my morning routine, because the last few years that I've lived and the distractions, and then going abroad, living life abroad and meeting amazing people, living a completely different lifestyle, made me realize that there is more to life than just going out on the weekends, getting shit-faced every single weekend, chasing women, and just doing nothing with my life. You know, it's so easy to get caught up in the cycle nowadays, guys, of working Monday to Friday in a 9 to 5, and then because you don't enjoy your job, because you haven't got enough to be proud of yourself about, you just go out on the weekend and drink your sorrows away. You drink yourself away, you get absolutely blackout drunk, because it's the most fun you've had all week. Like, you just, there's nothing going for you in the week. You have no purpose, you have no routine that actually makes you proud of yourself. And this is what a morning routine does for you. I finish my morning routine at 7:30 every single morning, and I have people say to me, I don't have time. What do you mean you don't have time? Everybody has time. I work with guys working 50, 60, 70 hour weeks, and they still find the time to prioritize a couple of hours a week to their own personal development. They still do what I do and make amazing progress. Now, could I wake up at 7, 8 a.m. and still have the physique that I have, still be in the shape that I am? Probably, but that's not the point. I get up and I do what I do because I used to waste so many fucking hours doing nothing, feeling stuck, having no clarity, having no game plan for my day whatsoever, and it would ruin me. I felt lost, I had no confidence, I had no self-esteem. Doing what I do in the morning and what I've shown you this morning makes me ready to attack the day. And I've done things before people are even awake. I'm ahead of the competition before everybody else is awake, which makes me want to continue. It gives me that momentum to keep pushing on even harder and even further. Why would I stop? If I've done that much by 7:30, I'm not just gonna go, it's all right, I've done an hour. That has got me ready. But you're too lazy, laying in bed, telling yourself that you don't have time and that one day you're gonna lock in, one day you're gonna change. Just quit it. Just quit telling yourself this if you're not going to do it. It's embarrassing. The truth is, you don't rise to your expectations, you fall to the level of your standards. Meaning that you will never achieve better than your current daily habits and what you're doing with your life right now. Nothing will change until you decide to make a change. Follow through on the promises that you tell yourself each and every single day. Because that is where the confidence and self-respect comes from. It comes from proving a point to yourself that you are worthy of more, that you can stick to what you tell yourself. Because I've done many years of telling myself promises, right? Writing out things to do, things that I'm going to do, business plans, all this sort of stuff. And if I don't follow through on it, I feel like a worthless piece of shit. I just do. I do. And that is because I'm setting these expectations, but I'm falling to the level of my standards. That was the expectation that I had in my head, and then I fell to a lower standard, which then just completely obliterates your confidence. The best thing you can do is get in the best shape of your life. But anyway, we're at the gym. We're here now. The car park is full, so I'm just waiting for somewhere to park. But yeah, we're gonna hit some back now, and let's get this session. My go-to warm-up for any session, no matter what I'm doing, will always start with a dead hang, which basically just means hanging from the bar for as long as I can, decompressing the spine. And it's basically the best warm-up there is, right? It warms up your forearms, warms up your lats, warms up your shoulders. Every single muscle there is. If you simply just hang from a bar. Now, this is a pretty tall bar itself, so even myself, I have to get on my tiptoes here, but I'm literally just hanging, and then what I can do is just take a big breath in, and then all you're gonna do is just relax the shoulders and breathe out. And then just take big breaths in and out from there, really. It's gonna stretch your lats, your forearms, it's the goat of warm-ups. I always do this before getting into any sort of upper body or lower body movement. So whilst we're here, before we jump into the actual full workout, which is probably gonna be a montage after this, I just wanna run you through, obviously, my current split on what I'm doing to get a physique like this and how many days you need to be training per week if you wanna get into the best shape of your life. And realistically, it comes down to minimal. You don't have to be in the gym 5-6 days a week, training 2 to 3 hours a day if you want to get a six-pack, if you want to get jacked, if you want to get into the best shape of your life. But the current split that I'm doing at the moment is 4 days a week. You've got chest and arms, leg day, so you've got glutes, calves, quads, hamstrings, everything. And then we've got a back day, which is what we're going through right now. And then the last session of the week is shoulders and abs. So we've got one more set of the seated row, and then we're going to go into the rest of the session. Full stretch, squeezing my shoulder blades together, and then a 3-second negative to the bottom. Big breath in, squeeze, and again. See, I'm closing my eyes here to really focus on that mind to muscle connection. Slowing down the movement, breathe in, squeeze. Big breath on the way down, control, stretch the fibers, go. Right, okay, so seated row is done. We've now got lat pull downs, but I'm not personally the biggest fan of your old regular grip, right? So we're gonna switch that around. This little bad boy. Now, the perks of using this is you're gonna get a little bit more bicep activation because you're rotating your elbows inwards, you're gonna be activating your biceps a lot more. Now, the thing is with the regular grip, it's okay, obviously it does the job, but still then your range of motion is so limited because you're just pulling in an overhand grip. If you use something like a reverse underhand grip for a lat pull down, you're going to get a much deeper stretch, and it's the same with this one. Okay, when you come here, I can just find that I can bring my elbows so much deeper because I'm not in an overhand position here, and if I'm here, I can get a real good contraction. This has always been my go-to. It is important to change grips around sometimes, but it's always my fucking go-to. It's the best in my opinion. When you're doing your pull downs, right, I see so many people going wrong with this exercise. They'll start here, okay, they'll have their chest up, they'll come all the way to the top, then what they'll do is they'll just come down and they'll just swing like this, and they're literally leaning the entire way backwards, and you're not doing anything for your back at all. So take a big breath in, sit up nice and straight, nice proud chest. And then from here, big breath in. And you're just gonna drive the elbows down until your chest is up and proud, and it is just above chest height here. I don't wanna see anyone swinging like this, okay? Keep back nice and controlled, upright, squeeze the biceps and the lats, bring it down to chest height, really focus on the contraction with your elbows by your sides, pause for a second, and then 3 seconds up and your head follows the bar. Okay, so your head stays under the bar and then a nice big pull down again, squeeze the lats and the biceps, and from here. Get the gist? So we're just gonna do a warm-up set.
I'm on a perk, got it underneath, yeah. Time for a skinny pants alteration, yeah. I woke up this morning, I was hot in Jesus, bro. I just took 2 pills down with my people, bro. Last night that addy had me on my feet, bro. I just hit some shit while I was down to sleep, bro. I've been scratching shit out like I'm on a beach, bro. I'ma scratch the brick, I get it A to Z, bro. Get it for the low, get it to the street. Pay me $5, I'm a sight to see. I told my bitch if I gotta be faithful, I might fall off. I put all my bills on paper so they won't talk. I put on vanilla, been taste, got a cold.